Everyone, welcome to the second regularly scheduled meeting of November. It is October 21st. It is 7 p.m. Good to have you all here. We will start, as we always do, by standing for our prayer and then Pledge of Allegiance. God, our Father, we are all your servants. We trust in your mercy and love. We trust also in your guidance. Direct the meetings of this council of North College Hill to make good decisions for all the people who live in our city. Give all the members of this council wisdom and insight to know what is best for our city. Help us to be fair and just in all our decisions. Bless us all to do the very best we can. With your help and guidance, we pray this in your name. Amen. Amen. Call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, well, good crowd tonight. Thanks for coming out. A little excitement here just before the meeting. Ms. LaTanya Chichester has joined council officially with her swearing in, so welcome and congratulations, Ms. Chichester. So, looking at our agenda, Mr. Hedger, when you're ready, please call the roll.
Ms. Orb.
Here.
Ms. Gaston.
Here.
Ms. Chichester.
Here.
Ms. Alexander.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Present.
Mr. Davis. Ms. Underwood.
Here.
All right, Mr. Davis did reach out to me shortly before the meeting started, said he was running late, would be here about 7:15. All right, you should have tonight's agenda.
Mr. President,
Ms. Orb?
I'd like to make a motion we adopt the agenda as presented.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Underwood to adopt tonight's agenda as presented. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Orb.
Yes.
Ms. Gaston.
Yes.
Ms. Chichester.
Yes.
Ms. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is another point of excitement for the city of North College Hill tonight, as we have a new police officer being sworn in. So we will turn it over to the mayor and to our interim police chief, Cheney.
Good evening, everybody.
Okay.
Before we get into this, I just want to bring a little bit of news. I informed the mayor today. A longtime police officer, Jan Apro, we would like you to keep him and his family in your prayers. He served with the city for 34 years as a police officer, 50 years of law enforcement experience overall. We were informed last week that Jan, on Tuesday, went into hospice care. He is doing well. He's in good spirits. The family's in good spirits, but he also, obviously gave a lot of time and his energy to this city. So if you can just keep him and his family in our prayers. Other than that, we will turn it over to the mayor. Officer Martin comes to us from Addiston in the sheriff's office. He spent about 4 years at the sheriff's office, and then the last 7 months has been a patrolman with the city or village of Addiston. So comes to us with a little bit of experience. From my understanding, his first couple shifts, he's had more going on in our town than he had in the 7 months at Addiston. So he was broken in accordingly. So with that, I'll turn it over to the mayor.
Good evening, and I can vouch for what Chief Cheney just said. Thank you. I had a conversation with Officer Martin, and he was talking about how busy he's been on his third shift, and he would like to go to first, but wherever they want to put him, and that's that's what we like. We like to hear, I want to be and serve wherever you need me to serve. And that's what we want to see in our officers. And again, I welcome you. This is actually the second time that he's being sworn in, because before the officers can go out, I swear them in. So before he could go out on the street, he and I were together and I swore him in. So if you want to step up again, I know he has some friends here. So if you will raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Michael Martin.
I,
Michael Martin,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm that I will support
that I will support
that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America,
the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
the Constitution and laws of the State of Ohio,
and the laws and ordinances of the City of North College Hill,
and the laws and ordinances of the City of North College Hill,
to which I am appointed,
to which I am appointed,
and to the best of my ability will discharge
and to the best of my ability I will discharge
the duties of police
the
officers.
duties of police officer.
This oath being sworn to before me, this is my part, on the first day of August 21st, 2024. Congratulations and welcome. Would you like to say anything?
I appreciate the faith.
You got to get in front of the microphone.
I appreciate the faith that everyone's given in me, and I hope to discharge my duties honorably and in service of the community.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard, Officer Martin. Thank you, Chief Cheney and Madam Mayor. All right, moving on to our agenda. We do have the minutes from the council meeting conducted on October 7th, 2024.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
at the top, I noticed that it says that underneath my name, it says present, but then underneath that, it does say that I was excused, so. I would love a clone of myself.
That ain't it.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt the minutes for October 7th as amended.
Mr. President,
Ms. Gaston?
I would like to second.
Motion from Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Gaston, to adopt the meeting minutes from 10/7/2024 as amended. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Sorb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston,
Yes.
Ms. Chichester,
Yes.
Ms. Alexander,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes,
Motion passed 6-0.
Thank you. Next is communication.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have no communication at this time.
Okay, thank you. Brings us to council committee reports, starting with City Community Development and Recreation.
Mr. President,
Mr. Wilson?
City Community Development meeting didn't take place. Our next meeting is on November the 11th.
the 12th.
The 11th is
This is the
Veterans
12th.
Day.
The 11th is a holiday.
Oh, okay. Is it?
Yes. It's Veterans Day.
Oh.
There's a
Well,
bunch of
yeah.
veterans in the room, so
On
Veterans Day.
On the 12th, sir. Apologize.
Thank you. Budget and Finance?
Thank you, Mr. President. Budget and Finance has been rescheduled for this coming Monday, which I believe is the 28th. I forgot to look at the date before.
At what time?
7. Thank you.
Thank you. Rules and Public Policy?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Rules and Public Policy meeting was canceled on October 15th. I was unable to access my email for some reason. I'm still unable to access my email, so I'm going to try to figure that out. Our next meeting will be November the 12th.
Thank you. And Public Safety?
Same thing. That meeting was canceled. The next meeting will be November 12th.
Thank you. Next is ad hoc reports. Does anyone have an ad hoc committee report this evening? Hearing none, we'll move to administrative reports. Good evening, Madam Mayor. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll be very brief. I just wanted to welcome Ms. Chichester to council and to welcome Officer Martin as well. It is a pleasure to have you both, and myself, we look forward to working with you. The Harvest Festival is this Saturday, October 26th, over on Goodman in the business area. I believe, I keep getting the times mixed up, 2 to 5?
2 to 5. That's correct.
2 to 5, I remembered. Additionally, we are in the process, I know you all remember the last meeting, Ms. Johnston was here and she mentioned the parks. Mr. Huffman did get back with me with 3 different vendors who are interested in making sure that our parks and our islands are taken care of and free of debris, and I guess we just need to find which one works better for what we actually need with the de-weeding and maintaining that part of the parks and making sure that our islands and our trees that we just did this past summer are maintained. And that's all I have. I do have a quick question because it was brought to my attention when Ms. Underwood just said her emails was out and Ms. Gaston was having issues as well. Is any other council member having issues with their emails?
No.
Mr. Wilson will be here on Wednesday, so I don't know if you can email him from your private email because he'll have to send you something or just go back in, and I obviously or Ms. Chamberlain can't give him your passwords. So if you want to email him from a different email and tell him that you're having issues, he can probably, pinpoint it that way and send you something to get you back in.
Okay.
And that's all I have.
Thank you. Anyone have any questions for the mayor?
Oh, I had one more thing. It is picking up, Mr. Graver. It is picking up with people wanting to rent out the facility, so that's really good. And the other thing, the newsletters, you should have gotten them last week. And if you did not, I believe I'm not going to try to remember the email, but you can contact Mr. Torrey at 513-521-7413, and he can get your information and mail you one if you didn't get a newsletter.
Is that all?
That's all, Mr. Graver.
Thank you, ma'am. All right, next is City Administrator's report. Good evening, Ms. Chamberlain.
Good evening. I'm in the middle of budgeting, so as you can imagine, I'm dreaming in numbers right now. I had hoped to already have the draft report to the mayor, but I'm kind of finishing up the last few things. We had really high expectations for ourselves when we decided to get new software for accounting and the budgeting, and with those changes came some glitches, so we're just trying to play some catch up. Everything's fine. We should have that done this week, so the mayor will have her copy, and I am including a narrative and a presentation that goes along with everything that will explain any and all changes and explain any kind of odd trends that we're seeing. Thank you to finance and admin folks for setting up our software. The budget software does look like it has some pretty cool communications as far as what we can present to the public for accountability. I have spoke to Hamilton County about this ongoing question that had to do with our CDBG funds. As it turns out, obviously we can use them for their original intended purpose, which was the splash pad. However, if we do want to use them for any other use, which I know we've already excluded this building, but if there is another use, we are very close to the point where we should have spent this down. I am going to go ahead and issue, and I did speak with the mayor about this, so she is aware, a management letter to Hamilton County. They will put this into their system for HUD and CDBG funding, and this will basically state that we agree to have any project that we are funding at substantial completion by June 30th of 2025. Substantial completion means that the project itself is completed, but the closeout reporting can sometimes take a little extra time, and with that would be the last drawdown. But what that tells the federal government when they're kind of auditing Hamilton County that we are in fact done, everything has been dedicated and will be spent. So it keeps them from having kind of findings as well as us. With that, I have put a call into Rumpke about our contract coming to an end, and we have also centralized public facilities management back into Public Works, and we are seeing really quick return on that. It's amazing when we have them serving as the point of contact. I believe we've procured services. We've knocked out a few issues with several of our buildings. So hopefully with this faster response, we're better stewards with our facilities, and by taking care of problems faster, there's less damage happening in the meantime.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Yes, any questions for the city administrator, Ms. Zorb?
sorry, I jumped the gun. Yes, Ms. Chamberlain, I'm curious, I heard you mention the facilities management going to Public Works. And I also recall hearing that a couple of our city buildings need roofs. So I was just kind of wondering how that plays or where we stand with any of that, or?
The police department, fire department building, there was a leak that became exponentially worse during the hurricane, the storm weather we received. There were some other issues that became evident with the ceiling kind of crumbling. Those have all been remedied. It had to do with finding some hazardous material. It's been taken care of. It has been mitigated, and the roofing company, I believe that Mr. Huffman is selecting which one the best bid. And we did seek out full bids, and as far as I know, everything we're working on is going through the regular mandated bidding process for lowest best bidder.
Thank you. And couldn't you give me wasn't there an issue with this roof also?
There is an issue with this roof, and this roof, they have started looking for bids for that as well.
Perfect, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, next up is the law director's report. Mr. Dieters.
Mr. President, I have no report this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have the finance director's report. The finance director is not present this evening, so that'll bring us to call of members, starting with Ms. Zorb.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I would like to welcome Ms. Chichester, forgive me, and also Officer Martin. And then on another note, I would like to show my deep appreciation to Donna Bruner and Helen O'Rourke. They have decorated a lot of the lampposts up and down Galbraith Road. And it's my understanding that they didn't even spend any money to do it because they got the corn stalks from Mr. Huffman, because apparently he grows corn. So they got free corn stalks and then donated their labor. So I'd like to just really give a shout out to them. That was awesome that they did that. It really helps the city. And then Public Works, I believe, helped decorate the area by Walgreens too. So it all looks really nice. So I appreciate the fall look. Also, while I'm talking about Public Works, I know I sent an email, but I just want to give a huge shout out. I know that the whole street sweeper thing was contentious for a while. It wasn't the street sweeper. It was the way it was bought, blah, blah, blah. I'm rehashing old garbage, so sorry about that. I just want to point out that I am so excited at the way Donnie Zurich drove that street sweeper around, because after all of the tree, I live on a street where there's some huge trees, tons of leaves, and the streets were a mess after the hurricanes blew through. And Mr. Zurich took so much extra time driving that street sweeper up and back, trying to get all of the debris. And I went out and thanked him, but I wanted to thank him publicly. So thank you, everyone. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Ms. Zorb. Next up is Ms. Gaston.
Hello, everyone. I just wanted to welcome Ms. Chichester. Excited to work with you and to see what the future holds. And also Officer Martin, welcome. And that's all that I have for today.
Thank you. Ms. Chichester.
I just want to thank everyone for all their support and welcoming here. And thank you to Officer Martin for his service. And a huge shout out to the Public Works Department. I had a huge tree that was like on the curve of my street, and they came by, took care of it immediately. And I appreciate that. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Ms. Alexander.
I would like to also welcome Ms. Chichester to council and welcome Officer Martin, and also thank Donna Bruner and Mr. O'Rourke and Public Works and all the volunteers that came out that helped them, because I hear that citizens came out and helped them as well. I would also like to thank the 2 officers that responded. It was about a week and a half ago. I believe one of them was Officer Dallas, and he had another officer with him, but it was a dog running around chasing people up and down my street. And at one point, my dog started barking. That's how I knew something was going on. And so I opened up my door and I saw, a young person like stopped kind of near my house, and I saw the dog. It was like a pit, and I got a pit too, so I'm not, afraid of pits. But he was kind of darting at him, so I told the, kid, I said, come up here in my yard, and I had a feeling it belonged to a new homeowner, and so I called the non-emergency number. And another citizen drove up the street alongside the individual and let them walk. But then another person came down the street. But the 2 officers came quickly, expeditiously. They ushered the dog back in the gate. It was a broken gate. The homeowner wasn't there, knocked on the door, but they secured the gate. And no harm was to the dog, and I was just happy that they were there because the dog could have got hurt, someone could have got bit, and I just want to thank those 2 officers that showed up on Center Ridge Avenue about a week and a half ago.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson.
Good evening, everyone. I'd like to say welcome, Ms. Chichester. This is going to be fun. Mr. Martin, thank you for your sacrifice. I'm glad you were willing to step up and protect us. I want to say thank you to everyone that works for North College Hill. Truly appreciate y'all service. That's all I have for the evening, Mr. President.
Thank you. And Ms. Underwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. First of all, I would like to say welcome to Ms. Chichester. I'm looking forward to working with you on council. Also, I would like to say welcome to Officer Martin. Thank you so much for your service. We truly appreciate you. And then finally, I would also like to say thank you to Ms. Dukestein for your service. You spent countless hours preparing for budget and finance and meeting with, everyone that you needed to meet with, and answering my somewhat probably seemingly not smart questions, but sometimes we know where our area of expertise lies, and mine does not lie with budgets and that kind of thing. So I would just like to thank you for the many hours that you gave to the city of North College Hill on council, working not only in that capacity, but in the other capacities that you worked. Ours is a labor of love. This is, what I'm saying is all public record for anybody who is listening to us, but $400 a month does not even begin to touch the number of hours that we spend, and especially Ms. Dukestein spent working for our city. So I would like to say to you, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I would also like to say thank you to Public Works. I saw them just kind of out and about, taking care of things, picking up trees, and just kind of keeping everything looking the way it's supposed to look. Miss Bruner, I did see her outside my office with the corn stalks, so thank you to you, and Miss O'Rourke as well. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. All right, so Mr. Davis has joined us, so since we're still in call of members, I would give you an opportunity, sir, if you had anything you wanted to speak about.
As once and as usual, once again, thank y'all. I appreciate everybody for being here. And remember, Motion NCH, first meeting, Greater Grace Christian Ministries. That is November 14th, 7 p.m. November 14th, 7 p.m., Greater Grace Christian Ministries, 6717 Hamilton Avenue.
Thank you, Mr. Davis. All right, that brings us to remarks from the audience. Mr. Hedger, do we have anyone signed in?
Yes, we have Andrea Brooks.
Good evening. My apologies, I didn't throw away my gum. I'll do my best to be professional. Andrea Brooks, 4 Beach Knoll Drive. I'm also part of Planning Commission. So I wanted to show up tonight. I was here a couple weeks ago, but I wanted to get clarity and also let you know I'm looking forward to attending some committee meetings just to present, to partner where we can, because I mentioned a couple weeks ago, I'm learning. And so I don't want to, based off the little tidbits of information I've gotten here and there, I want to make sure that we're not duplicating efforts and that we're pooling our resources together in the right way. So I want to make sure that I understand that the meetings are on the 12th, I think, November 12th. Are they 7 p.m.? No. Or 6?
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
so the Rules and Public Policy meeting is at 6 o'clock.
Okay.
That's the meeting that has the recommendations that you sent
Okay.
to us. And then 6:30, it will be public safety. And then 7 o'clock is community development.
Okay, great. I think I'd like to attend a couple of, because if any of you have been to any of the Planning Commission meetings, there's been times where I can't really recall if we've talked about it publicly at a council meeting about signage and looking at a place for like an electronic sign to share community messages, like, hey, leaf collection, things like that. I've been a party of one, and I've said before recently, I could probably sell signs now with as much as I know. Not my area of expertise. When we think about placement and purpose, I just want to make sure we're on the same accord. So I really want to partner. Not just me, but Planning Commission wants to partner, because our goal is really to be able to, just to give context really quick, and I hope I'm not at 3 minutes, but I'll say it's really quick. Our goal for signage is that even though in relation to the master plan, or some refer to it as the comprehensive plan.
I'm sorry, Mr. President, I'm interrupting you again. I apologize. Don't penalize her for this.
Ms. Underwood.
We actually have purchased a sign, so maybe we could
Yes,
kind of.
I'm aware of that, so I would love to partner, because again, not duplicating efforts and making sure, because I've learned some things that let me know the current sign that you've purchased may not meet the needs of what we were envisioning. But as far as placement, all of that, we don't want to do that in a vacuum or a bubble, so we really want to partner and make sure we're not making just recommendations and throwing them out. We really want to get some input. And the last thing I will say is that in regards to, I know last week, like I said, or 2 weeks ago, we talked about the master plan or comprehensive plan. Even though that process with Urban Fast Forward, I came in after the fact, they held meetings at different times with citizens to get input. As Planning Commission, we felt like the number of citizens that engaged was a little underwhelming. And so one of our goals in focusing on citizen engagement with the sign, et cetera, and the neighborhood councils, associations, and again, shout out for November 14th. So I hope people are watching this and feel like they have a voice. One of the whole reasons that we're focused on creating these neighborhood associations is to get more of that voice, because just because the master plan is done, when it comes to prioritization and what people really want, getting the voice of the people who live here is really important to us. And so I really want to encourage people to be a part and feel like you don't have to know about politics. You don't have to be a professor. Like, I want people to feel welcomed and feel like, just because whether you're a homeowner or renter, I don't care what your income is, I hope that people feel that they have a voice, because we definitely want to hear it. So Planning Commission definitely wants to support the city and council and administration with that, and that's all I had to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Mr. Edger?
Next, we have Kathy Curtin.
Hi, Kathy Curtin, 6718 Devonwood Drive. I just wanted to clarify that there was not a October committee meeting. Mr. Dieters, is there anything under the sunshine rules that would require council to have their committee meetings, or are they allowed to just skip that for that particular month?
They can cancel them if they want to.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Nothing in the charter that requires.
Okay, thank you. And then I also wanted to clarify for the November 4th meeting, I understand Madam Mayor said that the following Tuesday is election, and so the November 4th meeting will need to be rescheduled. Just want to make sure that we have that maybe tonight to know what that rescheduled date would be. And then lastly, and thank you, Ms. Brooks, you hit on a lot of good points, so thank you. I wanted to just confirm by a show of hands, has every member of council had a chance to look at, open up, and begin to read the current comprehensive plan, just by a show of hands? I'm seeing not everybody has. Okay. And then if you haven't, maybe you can offer any input or any insight. As Ms. Brooks did indicate, and it's not all inclusive, right? But we do not want to duplicate efforts. So if you haven't opened it, maybe you don't have to answer tonight, but I will challenge you to open that, because the city did spend a lot of dollars and a lot of thought was put into it. However, it is not the final with all say all. So if you have not opened it, I would encourage you to open it, to review it, maybe offer some critical feedback, or maybe offer some opportunity for growth in that. But if we can just make sure we know what the next scheduled council meeting would be, since November 4th, I think the building would not be available due to the election. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Hedger, is there anyone else?
No, Mr. President.
Okay. Thank you. All right, that'll bring us to legislation. Mr. Hedger, when you are ready.
Second reading resolution number 16, 2024, resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by the Budget Commission, authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor. Mr. President, I will note that the finance director did ask for this to be passed due to a time constraint.
Yes, I did see that email.
Yeah.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the third reading for Resolution 16, 2024.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Underwood, to suspend the third reading on resolution number 16, 2024. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Sorb?
Yes.
Ms. Gaston?
Yes.
Ms. Chichester?
Yes.
Ms. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0.
Thank you.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
I'd like to make a motion that we adopt Resolution 16, 2024.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I'll second that.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Underwood, to adopt resolution 16-2024. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Sorb?
Yes.
Ms. Gaston?
Yes.
Ms. Chichester?
Yes.
Ms. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0.
Thank you. That is all we have by legislation tonight. So next item is further remarks from the audience as it pertains to legislation.
Mr. President, I did ask questions, and forgive me for sitting if it's okay. I did ask questions during my commentary, but I didn't get an answer. Is there a way we can go back and revisit that and I can get an answer because I posed a question?
What question was that?
Mr. President, she asked about the council meeting on the
Okay.
4th, since it's not going to be here.
I understand that.
So that was
Okay.
her question as to where it would be, and
So do the,
We'll address it when we get to the point in our agenda where we'll address it. Does that suffice for you?
yes, sir, it does.
Okay, thank you.
I didn't see it on the agenda, so that's why I, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry you didn't see it on the agenda. All right, next is old business.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood?
I went and I was digging through my notes. So I don't know if this is better under old business or new business, but I could have sworn, like, after COVID in 2020, we were talking about some kind of backup generator for that building, for the police department and fire department. I could not find it, but it seems to me like there was some discussion about how much that might cost or what that might look like. But if it's not, I would like to start that discussion now. I think that that's important for that building to have a backup generator.
Mr. President,
Ms. Nichols.
Ms. Underwood, it may not be in your, I don't know if we discussed it at a council meeting. I believe that was with former Chief Fails.
Okay.
I don't believe it was at a council meeting.
Okay.
But I can tell you that we've had conversations since the last storm, and we are in the process of looking into purchasing a generator for the building.
Mr. President, I just want to respond to that.
Ms. Underwood.
Will that cover both sides of the building, police and fire?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Any other old business? All right, that will bring us to new business. So this is a polling location for November 5th, so they will be setting that up on November 4th. So we did procure the community room at Clovernook School for the Blind, where we have had meetings in the past, a couple summers ago when we didn't have air conditioning. So we've been working with Mr. Ken Lackman to set that up. Ms. Zorb has notified ICRC, so we will work on all of that. It will be on our regularly scheduled night, November 4th, at our regularly scheduled time, 7 p.m. We will be moving to the Clovernook School for the Blind in their community room. Any questions regarding that? Any other new business?
Mr. President.
Ms. Underwood.
I probably should have did this during call of members, but I would like to, I did see that the new fire truck was delivered to the fire department, and I can remember what a huge deal that is for our city. So I would encourage everyone just to kind of stop by and ask to take a look at it. They would love for you to see it. I believe they're very proud of it, and I'm proud of it as well, just with all the work we put in to get that fire engine into our city. So I would just encourage everyone to go and take a look at it.
Mr. President,
Ms. Nichols.
I'm being told that it will be at the Fall Festival, so if they
Oh,
can't
awesome.
make it there, they'll see it there.
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb.
Ms. Underwood, I'm searching my memory and it's foggy. Do you remember what year we started work? Because it's been a minute. Do you remember how long or when we approved that? Like, how long has this been in the
that was-
pipeline? And then do you remember how much we paid for it?
I don't remember what we paid. I do remember, though, that it was Mr. Mosby was actually our city manager at that point in time. So that's been quite some time ago. And I can remember going to the fire department and just kind of asking them questions about what they wanted on their engine. And it was like pulling teeth at first because they were really trying to save us money, but I wanted them to really have what they needed. And one of the things that they mentioned to help the citizens of our city was some kind of thing that they attached to the truck so that they could back up onto a street and attach it to a fire hydrant, which would make it easier on cul-de-sac streets to fight fires. So that is some kind of unique thing that they have on their fire truck. So I remember that that's how long ago it was, and we really did not skimp on this fire truck. I think that we gave them pretty much what they were asking for. They were very cognizant of our budget at the time, but we did do right by our fire department. So
I believe it was the end of 21, maybe right at the beginning of 22.
Ms. Zorb.
So I think the device you're talking about, I remember that conversation too, but I think it was on the front.
okay.
I think it's on the front bumper, and they can hook the hose up to the front bumper. So if they go down a street fast and it's like a dead end street, they can still hook up to the front of the fire truck. I could be way off.
Well, we'll see on
But I
Fall
think that,
Festival.
sorry if I misspoke,
That's okay.
all firemen.
That's okay. I just remember that there
Yeah.
was some extra thing. So I'm excited to see it.
Well, that qualified as new business, and I'm glad you brought it up. Any other new business?
Mr. President,
Mr. Wilson?
yes, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Tychester as the budgeted chair. I would like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Tychester as the budgeted chair, the chair of Budget and Finance.
Mr. President, could I ask a question?
Ms. Alexander?
Ms. Chichester, is that something that you're interested in?
Yes.
Mr. President,
Ms. Alexander?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I have a question.
Yes, discussion. Ms. Underwood?
So, I don't know anything about budget and finance, nothing at all. So I am curious, Ms. Chichester, and I just want to know, do you have some kind of background in that, or?
Yes, I, as one of my jobs as program coordinator, I deal with grants and I deal with budgets and I deal with my finances for those programs.
Okay.
So I do feel we've jumped the gun a little bit since we haven't even determined what committees she's on, but we have a motion on the floor from Mr. Wilson with a second by Ms. Alexander to appoint Ms. Chichester the chair of Budget and Finance. Any other discussion?
Mr. President,
Ms. Zorb?
to your point, should she be on the committee before she's made president?
Mr. Dieters, can you help me clarify that?
I think that's purely within your discretion on how you want to handle that.
Okay.
All right. Well, we'll carry out this motion then. All right, if there's no other discussion, Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Zorn?
Yeah.
Ms. Gaston?
Yes.
Ms. Chichester?
Yes.
Ms. Alexander?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Davis?
Yes.
Ms. Underwood?
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Chichester, it is the common practice that everyone is a member of two committees. Do you have another one that you want to join?
Can you give me a second?
I can give you a month. That's typically what we give. You'll have to blame Mr. Wilson for this.
Yeah, I'll let you know before.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Okay, any other new business?
Just,
Ms. Underwood.
Mr. President, I'm sorry.
That's fine.
Ms. Zorb, I will assume and hope that you would be working with Ms. Chichester for the next, because there's a meeting on the 28th. Is right?
Yes, ma'am.
So are you okay, you guys working together?
This was very new to me, but
Right.
yes.
Okay, okay, well, I hesitate to, jump in the middle of something because I might be voluntold to do it myself, and I am absolutely not interested in that, so I'm just making sure, everything's good. Okay.
Any other new business?
Mr. President?
Ms. Orb?
So I'm just going to throw this out there. I'd like to make a motion to appoint Ms. Chichester to the Budget and Finance Committee.
I'll second, Mr. President, I'll second that.
She hasn't been appointed to the committee yet, so this is to appoint her onto the committee.
Committee comes first, then the chair.
Motion by Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Underwood, correct?
Yes.
To appoint Ms. Chichester to the Budget and Finance Committee. Any other discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Orb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston.
Yes.
Ms. Chichester.
Yes.
Ms. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
Thank you. Any other new business?
Mr. President,
Mr. Wilson.
I'd like to make a motion, we adjourn.
Mr. President,
Ms. Underwood.
I'll second that.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Wilson, second by Ms. Underwood. Any discussion? Mr. Hedger, please call the roll.
Ms. Orb,
Yes.
Ms. Gaston.
Yes.
Ms. Chichester.
Yes.
Ms. Alexander.
Yes.
Mr. Wilson.
Yes.
Mr. Davis.
Yes.
Ms. Underwood.
Yes.
Motion passed 7-0.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.